Why would you want to run anywhere else but the left?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it.
The right, you mean?
The right.
Yes.
The other right.
Because that would be the right thing to do.
I think just about every time TJ's touched the
gotten
ball,
a
he's
10
got,
or 11.
He's got 1 yard beyond the
Each
marker.
time.
Every time.
Well, he doesn't want any measurements.
That's right.
He doesn't want to delay the game any more than he has to. Because we know how these games can get delayed.
$750 a piece donation to John Schroth in the basement at the
Is
office.
that a intentional grounding, Steve?
Holding call, so puts the Bombers back at a first and
So
22.
that
21,
pass,
22.
and then we got a holding on it?
Well, it was a holding penalty. They didn't call the intentional grounding. They didn't have the guts to call it.
Well, I would just keep running to the right.
First and 21. High formation, wide out to the left. Hand up to Clark. Clark's
Got a
gonna
couple.
try to the left side again. It's maybe the first positive yardage they've gotten on the left side. It's going to bring up a second and
A long ways.
17. Plus yards on that.
Yeah.
Wonder what he had for lunch today.
He had something. He's got some jet fuel in those legs right now.
He's coming out strong.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Just
blocking.
a little. Just
Awesome
a little.
blocking.
Right side of that line. Right side of that line looked really good.
Yeah, but Bobby, that's not fun to announce. It's more fun to say the guy ran all over the place. Make it sound spectacular. That's what we do best.
That
Bombers
line
are
was
going to go
great.
for 2. And we have whistles as the ball was dropped, so
I think the line messed
false
up.
start by the Bombers, but it may have benefited them because they looked like they were about to lose the 2-point attempt. So they're going to start now from the 7-yard line.
So this is telling me I think they've lost all faith in kicking.
Yeah, right here.
I mean, if you
yeah, I
start
mean,
out-
you really should be trying to extra point. I agree.
I don't know if they've lost all faith, but they probably just play in their odds here.
Very positive.
They like their odds better.
Very
of
positive,
the
Jeff
2
Renner.
point. And there's a pass to nobody, another miscommunication. So I don't know.
Well, he's shown twice he can throw the ball a long way. Just nobody else is around.
There's just
to
nobody
receive.
there.
You know.
And who knows whose fault it is.
All right, so the Bombers up 6-0 on the first possession of the game. 8:16 on the clock, first quarter. We'll be right back for the kickoff. Going to kick off for the Bombers here.
Ooh.
Where's Ben?
Is Ben hurt?
I don't know.
Is Ben hurt?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Well, I got plenty of time to do that.
I could do some things. We could talk about Yoko Ono,
No, she's old news.
but that gets his attention.
Is she still alive?
I believe she is.
Is she?
Yeah.
I haven't heard otherwise.
Speaking of Yoko, Jim Benson's in Colorado for his son's wedding.
Good
this
for
weekend.
Jim.
He's having
Here
a good
comes
time.
Bath with 2 wideouts to the left. No wing formation this year.
No wing formation?
Well, not on this.
That was
not
a
on this
strong point.
play.
The only thing I want to know about Jim right now, I wonder if he's tried any pot. It's
Listen,
legal in Colorado.
he's in Colorado. He's in basically Colorado's a Cheech and Chong mobile.
You can chew gum and it's pot.
Right, you're right. Everything is.
Imagine
got-
him with. He
No.
thought he had Nicorette, but it would be pot gum in his mouth.
Nicorette gum. Then can you imagine where the camera would be?
Oh my God, he'd be asleep.
It'd be all over the place.
He'd be sitting in the corner eating, and the camera would be asleep.
Camera would be up in the sky, going up like that.
2 wideouts.
And we lost track of the game here.
But they do have all new coaching, so
Well, yeah, the double wing was always what they played all the time,
yeah.
and it was tough to
they're
guard.
successful.
Very successful.
Wonder if it's a new coaching staff.
I believe it,
It
might
is.
be.
I just said that.
I believe it is.
You guys
Well, I
aren't paying
can't
attention.
listen when you guys are all talking at the same time. It's
Jeff, listen.
tough. I can only hear
Just
one person at a
stick
time.
to the play-by-play. We'll handle the rest.
I'll try and squeeze it in here, a little bit here and there.
Dear Lord.
2 wideouts to the right.
I tried to tell you I'd be quiet, but you wouldn't let me.
Here we go.
Motion.
Bath.
Shotgun snap, and there's another keeper. Adams.
Nothing there.
Nothing. It's back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up a third down and 10.
It's always an adventure. with
Bath
you
fans
guys.
very, very calm tonight so far.
But, you know, no, this is the cure.
2 wideouts to the left again.
We're going to try and call him offsides. We're going to try and draw him out. God, am I good?
Good call, Cheese.
You need a good quarterback for that. Did I ever tell you my kid was one of the best at that?
Jimmy, didn't he win like
There's
some?
a
Look at
handoff
this.
going to the right side. Number 40 again. Boy, is he
He's
a
a
load.
tank.
Whoa.
He's got some speed. So he takes it all the way down to the 2-yard line.
He is a load to bring down.
Yeah,
There's a
Flanagan
flag
had
on the
him.
play.
Oh, that's too bad.
Oh, it's going to come back. Haverling football leads the league in players with their names starting with a D.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
The Col-
What do you call that?
Second to Aaron
Was
Rodgers,
that
right?
a rugby we're talking?
No.
First down Rams.
Quarterback.
No, but Jimmy, he was the quarterback on the Section 5 championship team, right?
That's right.
I don't know how you would bother. Why you would bother measuring it? They just marched it off, so it's not like a.
What was the penalty? Bombers?
What was the penalty, Steve?
No, it was against Bath.
Blocking it back.
Yeah, I thought, because they still have a first down.
Okay, 1st and 10. 5:13 on the clock, first quarter. Bombers up 6-0.
Bombers are all confused out there.
And a timeout. Timeout on the field.
Bath called it.
Beth Haver.
You said it.
Till I said,
Now you're causing controversy.
well, I'm just telling you guys.
I'm going to have to change our uniforms. and everything.
LCO Bombers.
LCD. Look at Bubby.
Okay, we're back.
Bubby grew hair.
No, he didn't.
Motion in the backfield, low snap. Adams pitches out.
I don't know. Was that a legal pitch right
Bombers.
there?
Why? What
Was that a forward?
doesn't matter behind the line
Yeah.
of scrimmage. Behind the line of scrimmage, do whatever you want.
Yep.
That looked like a handoff to me.
Loss of 2.
It was a handoff.
I remember
Loss
Penn
of 1, rather.
a couple years ago. This guy Will Rogers was the quarterback.
Right.
He would always have like
Will Rogers.
30, 40 attempts, but all his passes were the running back running in front of him. And he looked real good.
Jeez, I'm trying to balance it out tonight. I'm giving you a little. I'm giving everybody a little
There's
credit.
another powerful run by number 40, Cordell Galvin.
Nice third down run.
That looked just like a typical Bath run. He
Yeah.
was a little kid, and he was right in the other kid's butt. Just
Yeah,
running behind him and
they
hiding
just
him.
push him.
He's a load. He looked like he's tough to bring down.
They're keeping this drive alive. This has been going a long time here.
Well, he got four-wheel drive.
I always hated those guys that were tough to bring down because they were
Low to the ground.
low to the ground, low
Stumps.
center of gravity.
They're all
Couldn't get
weebles.
your arms
Weebles
around them.
always wobble.
They
but
do
they
not
never
fall down.
Right, John?
Absolutely.
No, I was just curious. I was looking around.
Okay, Bombers with an I formation. White out to the right. Hand off to the tailback. That's Christian Clark.
Christian Clark on the carry.
Clark up for about a 5-yard gain.
82 in on that
Clock
tackle.
continues to run. 2:40.
Gain of
First
about
quarter.
5, second down and 5 for the
Bombers
Bombers.
leading 6-0.
This game seems to be moving along.
Yeah. Well, a lot of running plays.
It's a lot of runs, yeah.
Pass plays have been.
What was it, the
passes to
Waterloo
nowhere.
game that took 48 hours to play?
Yeah, that was awful. 2nd and 5. I formation. Handoff. There goes Christian Clark off the right side.
Whoa!
Manages to get all the way up to about the 33-yard line, 32-yard line.
First down Bombers.
4-yard gain.
So is it going to be available, the regular high performance one?
You're not eligible for the high
Go to
performance.
Galvin.
No?
You got to be 65.
65 or older?
Yeah.
Looks like 65 also. Johnny Ray.
They figured out it's close enough, we'll just leave it to low dose. Because I'm a big, strong, healthy, strong guy.
2nd and 7, I formation, wide out to the
Did you
right.
hear Cheese right there?
There goes Christian Clark on the right side.
He's on the move.
Bomber first down.
Takes it all the way up across the 20-yard line, down to about the 17, 18-yard line.
Has
Moves
Beth,
the chains.
has Beth ever played us?
So,
Second down.
It doesn't seem like it. It seems like about 3.
yeah, we're having
does.
fun.
Sometimes it seems like 20.
If it only seems like 3 to you,
It
John, then it
depends on the
probably should only
It
feel like 1
depends on
to
if the
us.
quarter's long or not. How long it seems.
We don't have to go back in the studio and edit all the games.
Right.
and-
All the hard work that John Schroth does behind the scenes, it's just immeasurable.
Oh, it's crazy.
Immeasurable.
I think he's got robots.
I think he does
He
too.
probably does.
He has a fleet of humans helping him at it.
Are we still on?
We're still on. It's
We're
the
on.
end of the
Oh.
first quarter.
So we got to keep talking.
Already we
So-
got this. We're already in the second quarter. This is moving along with the running games of both teams.
And again, as a reminder, this is senior night, so
Yes.
celebrating a whole host of.
What did they win, Phil?
Cigar.
What league? Is there? Well, there's no league
it's a
championship
team.
anymore.
It's just a team thing
So
that
it's
they had the other day.
against all the Sikh
A
teams.
couple other
or-
teams. It's not a big thing. I think the
Okay.
big one's next weekend.
Here we go. Start of the second quarter. Bombers up 6-0. There's a shotgun snap. And the pass out to the corner. And it is
That's a
hit for the touchdown. Jerry Brongo, number 81, hauls in that pass from
Brongo.
Deion Mather.
Nice pass, nice catch.
I think all those bad passes earlier were just a setup.
He was 40 yards from the one guy.
That was Alex Hartman, the up back.
Tell you what, Mitchell Shaw came up hard there, number 75.
I wonder why in the extra points we've gotten completely away from Swagler.
I don't know. I think they're just trying to catch him off guard with the giving it to the fullback, first man through, because he's normally a blocker on
Right.
about 90% of the plays. So
Well, it's 12-0 Bombers. Start of the second quarter.
Need extra points somehow.
If we can make it, if we can go to 5-2 tonight, fellas, we're doing all right this
We'll be
year.
a 4 seed going against a 5. Probably be Cal
4-5 game.
yeah,
Mum.
very,
That's
very
always-
good chance.
that's-
Although
Cal Mum or Avon.
Cal
That's
Mum is
always.
playing Avon.
Isn't
tonight.
Avon going to be higher seeded? Aren't they?
No, they're a 6.
Really?
Yeah, they're a 6
I thought
right
they were.
now.
I thought they only had one loss or maybe no losses.
I don't know. I gotta
Avon started out with 3-0. Then not for nothing. At home, I showed my wife and Jackson the opening to the Attica game with the train and all that. They weren't impressed.
They were
Really?
not?
They don't get it.
It was really a nice opening.
I thought it was great.
I mean, John went above and beyond. Johnny Cash, the whole bit.
Me dropping my cheeseburgers.
Yep.
Manny Sepulveda.
Inserting a
Tackle on that.
7,500 hertz tone
First and 10
to
for the Rams.
keep YouTube from voice printing.
Yep.
the
Exactly.
audio.
Understanding
Don't
the
give away your
technology
secrets,
side of it.
John.
Yeah.
They might.
See, John, when you do this game, you can start it out with Rocky.
First and 10 for the Haberlin Rams.
Are they the Haberlin Rams or the Bath Rams?
Beth Haberling Rams. Shotgun snap. Adams
We go
rolls
camping,
right
man.
and throws it short.
Jeff, this
And
says
we have a
it's
flag.
This,
flag
is called,
could be
this
roughing.
says they're called the Haverling Football Varsity.
Yes, and who knows?
Bath
what
isn't
that-
even on this.
It's going to be a roughing penalty on the pass.
Yeah, on the passer.
So that puts Bath over on the 42-yard line on the Bombers' end of the field.
Hey, Tom,
They should be like Bath and rough the passer again. Make it like the longest yard thing.
We're winning. We don't have to do that.
Oh yeah.
when you have a chance, look at the scoreboard. See the Syracuse
There's
score.
the handoff
40 on the carry.
to Nordell Galvin.
Big game for the Cuse
With
tonight.
it,
Good for a-
Pittsburgh.
Big game. They lose, they're done.
About a 1-yard gain there.
They won't get no bowl if they lose.
2nd and 9.
You know, I just got to say this. I'm still ticked about that Bath playoff game. I've never seen such a dirtier team, dirtier parents.
Well,
What's to tell those guys
everybody.
was funny?
that was years
true.
ago. It's but different group of people.
Yeah,
So
you can't do anything about the past.
that's right.
Can't change the
Don't
past.
hold a
Can't-
grudge. Just
Don't lean on the past because there's no.
Today.
Who picked him up?
XFL.
Really? Oh, he'll have fun there.
3rd and 4. Wide out to the right.
They drafted 90 people.
There's a handoff. Galvin. It's about a 2-yard gain there. It's going to bring up 4th down. 4th and about 2.
But he's a load, you know?
Yes, he is.
4th down, Rams.
Do they have the XFL?
They're starting
know
it
it was
this year.
starting out.
Starting
Yeah,
it
they're
up
starting
again.
this year.
So Charlie's thing didn't
See how
take
they're doing?
off.
See how they're doing overtime?
No.
What are they doing?
Santana Moss, he's a head coach of one of the teams. He's going, well, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I'll tell you. It's on Channel 82. It's going to be completely different than any other football. It's going to be kicking extra points. You start with one player, go to the next player, the next player.
Kicking?
Kicking
That's
extra
going to be
points.
great.
With different players.
From
on the field.
different distances, or?
Wow.
No, but they
Same
just, yeah.
Rolling out to the left is
Bombers are
Adams.
stringing it out.
The fast forward version. There goes TJ Swagler. TJ Swagler for about a 19-yard run and a 1st down.
Just piling on the yardage.
And
right
what have I
now,
told you
TJ.
guys all year? If TJ gets over 100 yards, they win.
He's got over 100 yards
He's-
now.
Well, I don't
So
know.
they
He's
don't
probably got 70 or 80.
I bet you he's got more than that.
Probably.
Phil, let us know how many yards TJ Swagler has.
87 yards from scrimmage.
You know, Phil needs to be our
Offset
stats guy.
formation.
He should be.
There's a handoff to Christian
Clark.
Clark going on the left side.
Flag now.
Where is that flag?
And it's
Over by
back at
the-
the line of scrimmage.
It's over there by the chain.
There was a flag on the play.
It's about 7 yards on that carry, but it may be going back. Looks like it is.
Clark ready to carry.
Somebody did a boo-boo.
The 40-yard line,
Nice run.
gain of about 12 yards on that carry.
That's how valuable it is to just keep your feet moving. Cam Cleveland was good at that. Always
Very
kept-
good at
kept his
that.
feet moving.
Very good at that. You got to tackle him high, you're not going to win.
Oh,
Train keeps a rolling all night long.
Keep them feet so moving. They won't bring you down.
Did you hear Johnny Cash over there?
2 wideouts for the Bombers.
I told my wife I started singing lately. She just looked at me.
And there's a
That's not
handoff.
a shock either.
Christian Clark
Whoa!
breaking tackles all the way up to the 20-yard line. Gain of about, what was that, 22 yards on that carry.
Geez, so what type of a, did you get the full eye roll from Liz or just the quarter eye roll or got lost?
It looked like the defender went up to jump, but his feet were glued to the ground.
Glued. Completely glued. His arms went up.
Misjudged. You know, the ball was fluttering a little bit, and I thought
Yeah.
the defender
I
probably
thought
just
he intercepted.
thought he was in position to intercept it, and he just wasn't far enough back. The ball
No.
carried further than he thought it was going to.
Bronco with his second touchdown catch of the night.
Bombers up 18-0, trying for another 2-point conversion. Unsuccessful on the first 2. There's Clark in motion. He goes to the right side. He's cuts upfield and into the end zone.
2-point conversion is good.
Puts the Bombers up 20-0 with 7:08 on the clock in the second quarter.
All right, who's going to kick here? And where's the kick going to go?
I think Letta again. Adrian Letta, I think, is probably going to kick off.
Letta looks even shorter when he's next to the football. Come on, kick the ball hard. So they put Letta in. He does kick it hard, and it just goes.
Just goes the same distance.
Rams from the 46-yard
Joshua
line.
Goodwin on that return for Bath. Bath comes up to the line with their Michigan-style Wolverine helmets.
Really?
It's kind of like that. Different colors, but same kind of pattern. There's a low snap and a handoff inside, and the Bombers are there.
Is that it? St. Bonaventure
Alex
Bonnie's
Hartman.
hat right there on one of the
let me zoom in on
Swagler
it,
kids. On one of the Swagler kids, yeah, right there. And he really did kick it in the end zone.
3rd and 5 for Bath.
He kicked the extra points, too.
Yeah, and he kicked some good extra points.
Him and Zach. Oh, I thought that was Zach kicked it?
In case you've heard this before, folks, you can take a little nap for a while. 3rd and 5.
Actually, America, I've made it all up.
And there's a handoff. Number 40.
There he is. He's a tank.
Cordell Galvin with no place to run.
Boy, that's a gang tackle on him to bring him down.
It was.
He looked like one of those tanks in Turkey.
He did.
Going backwards.
They got him, though. Hey,
Ben Perrone, Alex Hartman in there.
Everybody was in on that tackle.
That's number 40 on the
Listen,
carry.
I just hope he doesn't.
Cypress Coleman.
I just hope he doesn't run at Adrian Leto or Chauncey Gilbert, because that wouldn't be pretty.
That would be a traffic accident right there is what that would be.
He's everywhere, that number 13.
I think they're trying to get all the seniors in a little bit here.
Good.
And they are both on the field, by the way.
Morales got out there.
Morales out there.
4th down and 5.
Just got in the last tackle.
Bath going for it again.
Motion.
Why not?
Back to pass. And that one caught.
Nice grab.
Wow, really nice catch.
Number
by
6, Curtis Conrad.
CC.
First down.
Conrad.
That was a nice grab.
Yeah, when he threw that, I didn't think he had much of a chance to catch it. but
Right on his
boy, he did,
fingertips.
right there. With the letter D.
I'm going to go to Google right now.
Go.
You go, Tom. Go. Don't
Going.
come back.
The next sound you will hear is Tom
boy.
tapping his phone.
Here we
Top
go.
I'm
think
going
it's
to go
like a-
visit Mr. Google and find out who
Mr.
Mr.
G.
Haverly was.
Mr. G.
2 wideouts to the right. Back to pass. Adams sprints out to the right side, throws downfield, a little too far out of bounds.
Yeah.
Incomplete pass. Third down.
It's going to bring up a 3rd and 9. Ball is on the
God, it's almost halftime.
35-yard line.
This game's moving along.
It's because you're Googling.
Haverling. What does Haverling mean? It's British. It's a British word.
Uh-huh.
It means you know, you guys, I try to give you the right answer and I get abused. Just abuse.
We weren't asking for the definition of Haverling.
I was.
Yeah,
I
geez,
said, what's a
was.
Haverling?
Indecisive behavior. That's perfect for this community. Am I
Be
right?
a bomber ball, turns over on downs.
All right. That wasn't indecisive.
Bomber ball. We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to punch another one in before halftime. I think Swagler on a big run right here.
Hey, guys, if I ever drop dead in here, or Bubby,
Yeah.
here's our box.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Well, if you're dead, we won't even need it. We'll just step over you on the way out. There's
Lot of
Christian
room,
Clark with a lot of
Clarky.
room on the right side.
Stand has a couple open spots for you. Left in the half.
Bombers with an I formation. Sean Flanagan split out to the right, and we have a whistle.
We got a whistle. Speaking of the 5K, you know, my
Offside.
oldest son, John,
Offside.
you guys don't hear much about him, but he's running in the 5K.
I saw both your sons running in.
They won.
5-yard
They won their categories.
The Rams offsides.
There was only like 40 people running.
Still first down.
So it's a 1st and 5 now for the Bombers after the penalty marched off against the Rams.
I can't make it tomorrow, John, so don't wait for me.
Handoff to Christian Clark, following blockers all the way down to the 20-yard line. Boy, he had a wall of people out in front of him.
Yes, he.
And the halfback is the farthest back in most cases. I don't know.
Well, the fullback has to block for the halfback.
Right, but where'd the name full come from? What's it indicate? That one a little bit out of the reach of Jerry Bronco.
And why, when there's a penalty, do they always bring them all back?
Why do they call that little thing that holds the ball during the kickoff a tee?
Second down.
Why wouldn't you call it a tee?
I don't know.
Because you tee it up.
At one
You
time,
tee
it
it
might
up
have
like
been-
a golf tee.
Like a golf tee.
Might have
Yeah.
been shaped like a T at one point. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be molded like a tee. Could have a tee under it.
Yes, John. Did you get all that?
Or maybe Mr. T made it.
Maybe he did.
Or Coach T.
Maybe he had a lot of bling on when he made it.
There's the handoff. TJ Swagler
Swagler.
takes it up for
How many pounds
About a
of bling did
5-yard
Mr. T
gain.
have?
Number 6.
He's lost play.
Mr. T, how many pounds of bling do you think you wore at the time?
oh, I don't know.
30, 40?
About 40, yeah.
Third down, Bombers.
Oh, you mean the real Mr. T?
Yeah.
31 on the clock. Bombers up 20-0 over the Bath Haverling Rams.
Indecisive behavior Rams. Am I right?
No, I don't think you are. I still say it's named after a person.
It's not.
Why would you name something after indecisive
While
behavior?
you get the Google there,
Serious.
say, why is Bath Haverling High School called Bath Haverling High School?
All right, I'll check. I'll find out.
We can end this discussion.
We could ask one of these Bath guys in front of us. They probably know
They
the
answer.
answer.
Don't know.
They probably don't know.
Probably happened. You know,
Probably, why aren't we called the Piano Towners anymore?
Because there's no more piano
No more
factory.
piano factory. Yeah, but there's probably still pianos in this town.
there might not be any Haverlings left in
Probably
Bath.
piano movement.
It's going to be 80 feet higher than the dome is now.
Really?
You know who's really good at that?
First down, Bombers.
Deion Mather, getting that other team to jump.
Yeah, he is. Almost as good
Very
as
good.
the Hauser kid.
Yeah, almost.
Almost.
He gets him to jump one more time, I think he'll tie his
57
record.
seconds left in the half.
So Bombers with a fresh set of downs now and 57 seconds left on the clock. Leading 20-0. We're in the first half still. Wideouts to both sides. Shotgun snap and bat to pass.
Touchdown!
Mather.
Touchdown! No.
And Christian Clark almost came down with that.
Christian Clark.
It was a good attempt. It went over his head. To try
Yeah,
to
he
get
did.
it in.
He
I
had-
thought he was going to grab it.
It was tough. Back to pass. Over the middle. It's caught.
Transfer deep.
First down for the Bombers.
Flanagan.
That was
Number 12.
Sean Flanagan.
Nice
Reception.
grab, Sean Flanagan.
Bombers have not thrown the ball across the middle very much this year.
No, not at all.
Quickly, Bombers up to the line and spike the ball to stop the clock with 38.6 seconds.
They had plenty of time. They could have ran a play.
Second and goal.
First down, would have ran a play.
Ball on the
Probably didn't have a play called.
Call one at the line. Good quarterbacks do that, you know.
Well,
38.6
I know some guys that used to
left
do that.
in the half.
Who were they, Tom?
here come the Bombers up
The
to
Hauser
the line.
kids.
Oh,
Two wideouts to the right.
every time they did it, they got in trouble.
And there's a handoff.
Touchdown.
Swagler following blockers gets it down to about the 2-yard line.
He has trouble getting over the line when he gets down between the 1 and 2, doesn't
It's
he?
like a force field.
Yeah.
Invisible force field up down there. Clock still running. There's Swagler again. And the ball's on the ground. Fumble and recovered by Bath.
Bath recovered the fumble.
He got camoed. What is he in? Is he in the desert?
Look at him. Where's John?
All right, Bath.
All right, John.
Brings it up to the line, but they're
With
right.
99 yards to go.
They got to plow ahead just
Yeah.
to get it off the goal line.
Yes.
Prevent a safety.
And they'll take it into halftime. It's going to be the half of it, Jeff. Right now.
Bombers up 20-0
I believe the end of the first
as
half.
we go into the halftime festivities here at Don Quinn Field.
And it's going to be the Bombers 20-0. Nice, solid first half. Very quick half.
I wonder if Bath brought their marching band.
I don't see it. But the Bomber cheerleaders are going to be out here right now with their flag.
Cheerleaders are going to go out and perform.
Right. First place Bomber cheerleaders
That's right.
in the tournament this week.
That's right. So, John, are we going to film the cheerleaders?
Okay, we're taking a break.
All right. We'll be quiet
right
while
back.
the cheerleaders perform.
Congratulations to Lincoln. I'm very surprised. I never thought you guys would stay together.
Nobody says we are.
Let's get this game on the road here. All right.
All right,
about
get
to
ready
swear.
for the kickoff, and looks like Ben
Here we
Perone
go.
back
Perone.
for the second half kickoff. duty.
Maybe he's going to go deep with this one.
And it's going to go to the 40.
No wind. And Ben kicks a bouncer. It's going to go
Out of bounds.
way off to the right
No,
side.
they
Fielded
it.
and
He
stepped out of
bounds.
Boy, he did the Bombers a big favor there.
Ben,
Fielding
strategically.
Well, a guy touched it too, so
Oh, did it?
yeah,
Okay.
so it would have been.
Well, you must have better eyes than me.
First and 10 for the Rams
It's my diabetic
from
eyesight.
their own 24-yard line.
All right, here we go.
First and 10 on the 24.
First and 10.
Rams
Do it again.
start off with the first possession of the second half, trailing 20-0. My high school was the Rams, you know. Royalton Heartland.
Royalton Heartland
We
Rams?
were the Rams, yes.
Do you have the Ram helmets?
No, they were just gold. They were just a gold helmet.
Timeout. Haverling Rams.
3 seconds gone in the quarter, and there's a timeout.
So at one time they were like the Notre Dame gold, you know, the
Right.
the shiny kind of a
Yeah.
dome-colored
Who
gold.
was?
The Rams that I was.
Roy Hart, Royalton
Where I
Heartland.
went to school.
Roy Hart.
And then they went to like just the yellow, just kind of a, you know, like a Green Bay Packers
Right,
yellow.
like a yellow.
Type, you know, it was just a plain yellow.
Right.
And I don't know if they ever went back to the gold or not, to be honest with you. But
We were
and
always
we were purple. Purple.
yeah, we were
Purple and gold.
We were
Purple and
the
gold,
Pittsburgh
yeah.
Central School is Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's purple and gold.
Purple or blue?
McQuaid was black and gold.
Purple?
And then Menden came along and ruined the whole town.
Well, Mendon came
It's like
around.
a little sister. You
The
know, it's like
Vikings. The Vikings came
a
around.
little sister comes in.
And they got speed.
He's a little one.
Second down and 10. Shotgun snap and handoff going up the middle.
Bomber
Nope.
stuff.
Ball stopped by the middle of the Bomber line.
Number 66, Cypress Coleman.
Coleman all over the Haverling Rams right there.
Cypress tree?
Third down.
Is there a cypress tree?
In Florida,
There is. A lot of
down
them.
south.
They kind of live in the swamps down there,
Yeah.
typically. You know?
Dogs in Lake Ontario and Lake Michigan. They're
Back to
all
pass. And that one in the hands a little bit behind number 20.
Fourth down.
Joshua Goodwin almost got his hands on that
Wide
one.
open.
So it'll be fourth down for
You
the
know, we haven't
Rams.
seen a punt all night.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
Well, they got a punt now. I would imagine they got a punt
In
now.
their own zone, but down 20-0.
You never know. Could be a fake. Could be a fake.
They're not lining up for a punt. Oh, yes,
Got
they
somebody
are.
back, yeah.
He's back. He's blowing smoke out of his mouth. Look at him. He's vaping
like
out there.
Cordell
Come on,
Galvin.
Phil. It's very cold up
Flanagan
here.
and Bronco deep for the Bombers.
Don't go too deep, man. Oh, jeez, that's why they don't.
Nice punt.
Nice punt.
That's a good kick.
Taken by Bronco.
Okay, the Bombers will have a 1st and 10
I didn't see him close enough to
from
really
their
tell
own
you.
45-yard line.
Whose phone's going?
Mine.
Mr. Google.
Oh, my God.
My mother. It was my mother. What she want?
Go ahead, you can take it, Tom. All right, Bombers, 1st and 10 on the 45-yard line.
I'll take his place again.
Hand off TJ Swagler, going to the right side, gets the corner.
There he goes.
He's off to the races.
Off to the races.
Got one to beat. And he cuts back across and in for the touchdown. For a 2-point conversion, up 26-0.
No Swagler out there.
Wideouts to both sides. Now motion. There's a handoff to Clark. Clark going right and in for the 2-point conversion. Christian Clark had a big night tonight.
So we're 2 for 4 extra points. We only got 4 touchdowns, yeah?
Yeah.
Seems like more.
I don't know. Maybe give them the night off since it's senior night.
Or maybe he's not kicking anymore. They're letting him kick now because he's a senior.
Maybe. And they're same place, but
Same
a little
spot.
harder this time, and it does go out of bounds.
Nobody
That's a 30.
Why?
All right, so
Should not be hit. Should not be. No. Should not be out there.
They didn't used to do it all the
Number
time.
10 should not be on the kicking team.
Maybe it's a numbers thing.
I don't know. But anyway, there's
Boy,
a
went
bouncer
this
coming
way.
this side now.
Out of
gonna
bounds.
go out of bounds.
Shorter.
Again. So Beth is having quite a good offensive explosion here
What are we doing?
on the kickoff.
Maybe that's why Ben doesn't kick.
What are we doing?
Nothing, obviously.
So
Will you make him re-kick again from farther back? Keep doing it, man. They'll score just on
I don't
kickoff.
know. I don't know. I guess if they keep kicking out of bounds, I guess you could have them.
You
You could have them do it all
Until
game.
they get down to the goal line.
Yeah.
God, if I'm bad, I keep taking the penalty.
This is our third kick.
It's like they're going to take it from the spot that it went out, maybe.
1st down.
Well,
Bombers.
so I was just thinking, it looks to me, you've got Leroy, Attica, and the
Letchworth Warsaw
Those 3 are by far the best teams in this
in Class
section.
C. Yeah.
And then you got another group with ER on top.
Avon, ER. Who else?
Kelmom.
Kelmom.
ER's pretty much blown everybody out except for the teams that
There's
lost.
another.
Right.
There's another team in there too. I forget.
There's like 7 teams that are decent.
Yeah, I lost my my printout.
Incomplete pass.
A lot of cowbells tonight.
Well, yeah, a lot of cowbell.
That's Mrs. Swagler and Mrs. Hauser.
I don't know if you can get too much
More
cowbell.
cowbell.
You never have enough cowbell.
It's 20.
And Mrs. Piscazzi, my wife, and a bunch of the mothers and stuff brought milk jugs filled with stones and stuff. You know, and we were doing a big rally. I said, "Okay, all you ER mothers, stand up and shake your jugs." They all got up. And
Oh no! Cut! Cut it! Cut!
no, but they're all ER
Cut!
jugs.
I know, geez, but it's got to be cut.
You had to be there. It was great.
3rd and 14 now.
They all did it.
Of course they did.
Beth Haverling. Sprint out to the left side. Adams going to let it fly. And a little short and out of bounds.
That was a weird throw.
Going to be 4th down.
Trying to get it to Joshua Goodwin. 18-yard line.
Well, 18, yeah. All right,
So
what do you
right
got?
now, we have undefeated. We have Leroy and Attica, followed by Letchworth Warsaw with a 5-1.
They lost to
record.
Leroy 7-6.
Yeah, that was a
Letchworth
really
Warsaw.
close game.
Okay, so close game
1st and 10
there.
for
Then
the
we got
Bombers.
Gananda and Kelma,
18-yard
both
line.
at 4-2. Then you got Penn Yan at 3-3, along with
Avon.
Avon, Waterloo,
A bunch of
And
3 and 3.
Dansville.
Dansville came back up 3
all
and
at
3.
3-3.
I think Avon's playing Calmon.
Yes.
Tonight?
Avon is playing at they're playing at Avon tonight, Mountain. So that game could go either way. And that'll have an effect on who we play in sectionals. There's a good carry by
Clark.
Christian Clark.
Nope.
And then we have a flag down.
Flag on the play. Christian Clark.
It's kind of a late flag.
82 on the tackle.
At about
against
a
us,
12,
I think.
Eggleston.
12-yard. Now, if you go far enough back in
This
the
is the
Iron,
Flanagans and Pat Flanagan's his dad. He's in the school board, and his mother is the human resource
Oh, okay.
and registrar in the school.
1st and 10 for the Bombers at the 45-yard line. High formation, wide out to the right. There's the handoff to Clark. Clark breaks a tackle, gets it up for about a 6-yard gain.
Gain of about 6.
Clock continues to run, 8:13. We're in the third quarter.
Looks like number 73 in on that tackle. Joshua Miles.
It's going to bring up a second and
down
4.
and 4 for the Bombers.
Bombers leading 28-0.
My toes are starting to get cold.
It's cold.
I don't have any socks on.
Well, it's getting to that time of year, boys.
Don't like it.
Bombers come out with a wide out to the right in an I formation.
5 on that tackle. That's 65. Johnny Ray.
Johnny
Touchdown
Ray.
Bombers.
Two wide outs to the left, one to the right, and now motion. Back to throw is Mather, looking for a screen pass in the middle, but a little too tall for
That was
TJ
set up
Flagler.
nice if we could have got that pass there.
4th down Bombers.
Brings up a 4th and 6 for the Bombers.
Still 6 minutes to go in the period.
Ball's on the 49-yard line.
Colder we get, the slower the clock goes.
The Bombers are in a punt formation.
Bombers are going to punt. 4th and 6.
That's right.
Let's get an Orangeman update here.
Yeah, let's get an orange update. Play in the warm dome.
I think I've become bored with the orange, to be honest with you.
Well, look, they're having a little bit of down year. You can't abandon the orange.
Yeah,
It's like the Orioles.
I'm
They'll
ready
check
for
on the
orange
Orioles.
basketball, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
it's
You're
true.
going to get bored with them, too, I think, this year.
Could be.
They could be good.
Two wide outs to the left for the Rams.
Oh, it's all over. It's all over.
What's the score?
17-6 Pitt.
There's the handoff going into the line.
Plays defensively by Alex Hartman.
Number 40, Cordell Galvin.
I wonder how many
Alex
offers.
Hartman in
40
on
on
this
the
stop.
carry, Cordell
I
Galvin.
wonder how many offers Dino Babers will get this year for.
Whistles.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
And we have a
Told you that
delay a game.
the refs are slowing this game down to a crawl after that quick first half.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel sorry for John because when this happens, we get out of control.
You're right. You're right. It's not John's fault.
It's not our fault either.
It's not our fault either. John knows it's not
We
our
got to
fault.
keep the show moving.
Whose
Right.
fault is it? Yehudis?
It's really his. Nothing to do with. It's not our
Yehudis.
fault.
Yeah, Yehudi.
Who's
Every
it,
time,
It's-
every time somebody did something bad at our house, we'd all deny it, and my father would say, "Who did it, Yehudi?"
You know what, I think
Tom, look Yehudi up
why
on
we have these
Google.
slow moments in time,
Right.
John should tell us Gracie stories.
He should.
There's the Bombers in the
Well,
backfield.
some he can tell,
All
some he
over
can't
Galvin.
tell.
I'll be editing the whole rest
Yeah.
to that.
Barone and Hartman.
TJ Swagler.
The flag, too.
Big interception for the Bombers.
There's
Takes
a
the
flag out there,
flag
though,
down
right?
5-yard line.
There was a flag on the play.
Oh, the crowd is deflated. That was great.
Well, we'll see. We'll
It
see.
might be going
be
back
against
to the
Bama.
Haverling Rams.
Nobody's talking because nobody knows what the flag is. Probably pick
They're
it
going to
up.
say
Motion.
illegal motion. They're going to wave it off.
Declined.
Bomber ball.
Decline the penalty, and the Bombers will take
Bomber
over.
ball.
The flag was,
You
remember
like
this?
that move, John?
Yeah.
Bomber ball.
Remember this back in the day? Giving them the business.
That's right. Still have her number. We'll call her up and ask her. Back to pass. Mather kind of floats it.
Oh, my.
It's caught by Sean Flanagan.
Holy Christmas.
Nice grab.
What a catch.
Well, I got to tell
That
you.
ball floated up in the air.
And he slipped right into
He
that.
did. He slid right into that catch.
He was coming back for it. And slid down
That's going to be a good slow-mo.
right into his arms.
That's
Nice
good for him,
slow-mo
too, 'cause
replay.
He's had a rough year receiving.
Yeah, that was nice.
Good.
That was good. So he's got 2 touchdown catches
Oh, my
tonight,
God.
right?
We're doing a kick, boys. We're doing a kick.
Oh, the Bombers
John,
gonna
get a
kick.
close-up of this.
Ben Perrone into kick for the Bombers.
See if we can get a
There's
knee.
a snap, the hold, the kick, and it is.
I can't believe it made it over.
I'll tell you, what's good, though, is when Ben made
Tell stories, but we're
Al Buckner takes out Bobby Baritone to Bill Gray's. And Bobby's sitting there and he goes, Al, I want to thank you for all the times you took me out. Did all kinds of nice things. And Al goes, well, you'd do the same for me, wouldn't you? And Bobby looks at him and he goes, no.
No, I won't. No, I wouldn't.
That's the way Bobby was.
Father Leone loves telling that story.
Great story.
Yeah, yeah.
He was a real rebel when he was younger.
Oh, yeah.
I transferred all his videotapes of his band. Let me tell you.
He had a band?
Oh, yeah. Bobby was the lead singer.
What was the
Back
band?
row to kick out for the Bombers.
The Resistors.
Resistance.
Yeah, they were hot, the Resistors.
Ben Perrone to kick off for the Bombers. Deep one. Look at that one. Holy cow, all the way back to the 15-yard line.
You taking the handcuffs off Ben this quarter or what?
Here come the Rams up to the line, trailing 35-0. Wide out to the left. Offset formation. Now motion. And the handoff inside. And he gets about a 2-yard gain there.
Perrone on the stop.
Well,
72.
Unfortunately, guys,
Perrone, Flanagan, and Hartman all
we had
on the
a
stop.
lot of excitement the last few plays, but that all only took 35 seconds, so there's still 5 minutes left. It was also quick. Wish they could draw out the excitement.
2nd and 8 for the Rams.
I'd like to see a nice tackle and the ball go flying in the air. Somebody grab it and run back for a touchdown. Raining like crazy for the last couple of days before that.
12 years ago, okay.
3 buses come pop up. It's the Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
I remember
They
that.
could not practice at Fisher, so they walked
There were
on
no,
the youth
there was
field.
no
I do
turf
remember
there,
that.
and they came up
They
here.
came to
Yep.
the youth field, and they came up and asked the kids, "Can we use your field to practice on?"
Yeah.
And they're all just kind of. So they
I
go,
remember that
well, you
day,
can
yeah.
sit down and you can practice.
That
with
was
us.
that was a really cool day. The whole town came up to watch
It was, yeah. I mean,
And
it
that-
was like
that's
that,
when
that
they-
went around the town like wildfire.
And that was their
Everybody
first experience on this type of turf, and this
Yes,
is
it
what they
was.
put into
their
to the
place,
field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Although they don't practice on it,
No.
they practice on grass. 2nd and 17 for the Haverland Rams. Shotgun snap, back to pass. Adams.
Come like at 10 o'clock at night and all play basketball.
On that court.
And all the kids in the neighborhood would be all just hanging around, watching them.
They were finding a quiet court.
Headlights.
2 wideouts to the left for the Rams. Now motion. Low snap, back to pass. And it's intercepted by Jerry Brongo. Jerry Brongo takes it all the way down to about the 11-yard line.
Number 81,
A little awkward. Looked like he slipped.
Yeah,
going
Bronco.
down.
I thought he got hurt his leg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looked dangerous. But
That was,
he popped right up.
That's the first thing I thought. All there goes his name.
I know that was an ugly tackle right there.
Well, his foot kind of stuck.
ball on the 12-yard line of the Rams.
Well, this game is turning into a blowout, I'd say.
2:44 left on the clock, third quarter. Bombers up 35-0 and knocking on the door again. 1st and 10. Ball's on the 11. There's a handoff. Christian Clark.
Alex Hartman on the
I'm
carry.
sorry. Make it Alex Hartman on the carry.
Bottom of the pile, number 73 for the Rams, Joshua Miles.
Got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
Yeah, he got hurt there. I was just going to say he's a tough little kid. Now he's coming up holding.
Hunter Cup on that tackle.
He's still a tough kid.
Look at his helmet's crooked.
He's looking at his ear hole.
Can't see with this thing on.
He got hit pretty hard.
He's walking sideways.
I can't see with this thing on. Little Giants.
Needs Antonio Brown's helmet.
3rd and 8. Farmers come out with a wide out to the right, I formation. Mather hands off to Christian Clark. And on the right side, he gets taken down after about a 1-yard gain.
4th down, Bombers.
It's going to bring up a 4th and 7.
Hunter Cup. Rams take over on
Ball
down.
was intended for Manny Sepulveda.
Rams take over. Why didn't we kick a field goal there?
Why do we kick a field?
No, we should be running the ball using the clock.
It's a
Right.
yeah, exactly. Getting some other
Yeah, you
other
got to
kids
move
involved.
this along.
Yep. So still got 24 seconds left on the clock in the 3rd quarter. Temperature's down to minus 22.
At least. It's as cold as it's been without
Icicles.
rain or snow, I think,
Yeah.
that we've done a game.
I actually did bring all my citrus plants in, my
You got to worry about that freeze warning.
stevia plants.
It's cold.
It's getting close now. Once you get down
It's
there,
in the low. It's gonna be
when
in the
they're
low
saying
30s
it's
tonight.
when they're saying mid 30s,
Calvin,
I'm not
carry.
taking any chances
Hey,
at that point.
Tom and Jeff, I'll take Polar Vortex for 500.
That's going to do it for the.
Get that clock moving.
He would. I can't believe he hasn't started it yet. The clock.
I don't know if
What
anybody
is he
would
waiting
notice.
for?
Nobody would care.
Nobody would.
care. I think
Nobody
in
would.
fact, everybody would applaud him if he started the clock now.
Look, he's got snow on the top of his head. Oh, that's his gray hair.
Don't say can't. That's a negative thing, Steve.
You can do whatever you
You
want.
can do whatever you want. You got your fingers on the
Be
button there.
positive, Steve.
Until they tell you differently, you got full control.
Motion in the backfield, and the
Good,
keeper,
Good Lord. Ben
Ben
Perone.
Perone, penetrating.
Nobody
the
blocking
backfield.
Ben Perone there. Went right in.
For a loss in the backfield.
That's going to bring up a
Third down.
3rd and 12 now.
Moving back. Wow, they gave him a good.
Deep into their own
Bronco
territory.
Gilbert deep for the Bombers.
I don't know if the Rams will
Number 40 will punt.
set up in a punt formation
Cordell
here.
Galvin.
Galvin back to punt for the Rams. Gets it off.
Nice
Good
punt.
He kicked the good one last time too.
Fielded on the fly. Going to the right side.
Chauncey.
Gilbert with a lot of room. Chauncey Gilbert takes it into the end zone.
Touchdown Bombers.
No flags. There's a flag on the play. There's a flag on the play.
Flag on the 20-yard line.
Too bad.
It's got going to have a
Flag against the Bombers. Nice run by Chauncey.
10-yard mark off.
Bombers will have a 1st and 10 from the
15-yard mark off.
35-yard line of the Rams.
So that one cost the Bombers 15 yards
Yeah, it's big.
and a touchdown. Cost them 35 yards, right.
It was way behind the play, too.
Yeah, too bad.
Bombers in an I formation. Wide out to the right. Hand off to Christian Clark. He gets hit as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's about it. Another flag down. A little bit of tempers flaring there.
The Haverlings are coming out.
A little chippy.
Flag on the play.
And this shouldn't be offsetting.
Stadium that one time
Yeah.
when they got up to the huge
Yeah.
lead. I mean,
We
they were
came
up by
back.
like 40 points.
Yeah, we
or
came
something,
back
and
on
we
'em.
came back and almost tied it up. It was a good game. There's a run going up.
Gain of about 5.
Then in Webster, everybody in the stands were going at it.
Yeah, that was rough too.
Yep.
Couple rough ones with these guys.
Second down.
Gain of 4 for the Bombers. Going to bring up a 2nd and 6.
Thing is, though, back then they did it. They were a good team. Now,
Yeah, they were good. They were real
just-
good. Now this is just some
Stupid
cheap
stuff.
shots.
I mean, they backed it up then.
Timeout Bombers with 9:28 on the clock. Bombers
Commanding
leading
lead.
35-0 in the fourth quarter. We'll be right back. Bombers 2nd and 6. Here's the handoff going to the right side. Christian Clark, and he's up for a first down. All the way down
Inside
to
the 5-yard line.
4-yard line. Great run.
The wind is starting to blow in this way now.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm starting to feel it.
82 on the tackle for the Rams.
It's the Polar Express. Brian Sir with a nice block for the Bombers,
We're going to try to kick again.
along with Brandon Gray.
Get a little excitement here. We're going to do a kick.
Snap is good. Kick is up, and it's good.
Oh, that was a nice one.
It's a good kick.
Good again.
The point is good.
Ben Perone.
Great job of blocking for the Bombers there.
Yep.
So that's the great thing about being John Schroth is he not only gets to see this live, he gets to watch it all over again.
He
in
gets
the
to
editing
listen to
process.
it, right.
Over and over.
Secret weapon for sectionals.
I
First
think
and 10 Rams
Ben can kick it.
from their own
Rams
28-yard line.
going to start off on the 28. 8:39 on the clock.
Well, after tonight, there shouldn't be any bad football games because we're going to probably play a 5 seed, which would be equal to us.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Then
play
we're-
some.
then
You're
we're
gonna
gonna
play
play
some
the
good
higher
teams.
seeds.
Yeah,
After that,
you'll play some good teams
so
as you move
won't be any
along.
of these blowouts with us.
And now you're being positive. That's good.
That's good. Cheese is working on
I'm
it.
always positive.
Positivity.
I'm always positive. I'm positive when I say bad things, and I'm positive when
Motion in the backfield. And there's a pitch out going to the right side.
Nice play.
Got room to run. That's number
That was
18, Braden Hess.
Nice little option
Number
play.
18, Brayton Hess, first down, Rams.
you always hate to see the shutouts go away with 3 minutes to go and all that. But, let the kids play.
Let them get out there. Get them on the field.
It's all about the kids.
It's all
You know?
about the kids.
Yeah.
That's right. It's why we do this.
I'm not like
That's it.
Tom.
We're here for the kids.
Tom is just so anti-kid.
Our kids and our own entertainment, basically, is why
I'm
we're
just,
here.
I'm just pro-kid. I'm positive.
He's positive even when he's when he's negative.
Mr.
He's
Positivity.
positive about his negativity.
That's right.
Well, you know what they say, positives and negatives attract.
They,
That's true.
I'm like a magnet.
Left, 2 wideouts to the left. There's a handoff going up
number
the middle.
40.
Number 40.
Cut
Boy.
down.
First down, Rams.
Who cut him down?
Cordell
there?
Galvin.
34.
Nice run.
Mike Powell cut him down.
He's not feeling
Tackle
so
by
well.
number
He's a load.
34 for the Bombers,
I'm kind
Mike
of surprised the Rams haven't used him more.
I knew he was going down.
Because he
Powell. We have
is
a player down on the
Mike
field.
Mike Powell took a beating when he
Yeah,
took
well,
that
that's-
kid
that's
on.
a load. I mean,
Yeah,
that
he
kid
took
coming
that
at
kid
you like a
on.
freight train.
The way you hit that
Yeah.
kid, man, that looked like a collarbone issue.
Yeah, Mike's
Yeah.
Next
Yeah,
up, the
he's-
biggest kid in the
he's
world.
hurting.
All right, we're going to take a quick timeout for the injury. 6:29 on the clock. Bombers up big. We'll be right back. Hurting bad.
Yeah, he is.
First and 10 Rams.
Okay,
From the Bomber 41-yard line.
Put a towel over his head.
the injury timeout. We're back. Rams with a 1st and 10.
Tom's nose just fell off his face.
Yeah.
Wow. Pinocchio knows that.
You don't need a nose. Why do you need a
Rams
nose?
going to kick for the extra
26.
point.
Adam Pickering
Adam Pickering,
to
the
attempt the extra point.
extra point kicker.
What is the delay here?
We have a delay, but there's the snap. If snap is fumbled, Pickering picks it up,
It's a trick play.
and he gets tackled down at about the 4-yard line. So
Nice stop.
No good on the
No
extra
good.
point.
and it moves so fast.
I think we got the coaches to change the color for us when we were shooting that.
Of the ball, yeah, we did.
Because orange was tough against the green.
White, we needed the white
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
What lacrosse were you shooting? The girls?
Girls back
Girls.
in the day.
Rondo and Clark deep for the
Yeah,
Bombers.
we've been at this a long time.
We've done girls lacrosse, girls field hockey,
hockey.
basketball, girls and boys,
So we got to do baseball then. We got to do baseball.
soccer, boys soccer.
Well,
Before we retire, we got at least get a baseball game in. That might retire us.
Nobody's going to retire you.
all right, I'll be Bob Euchre.
If they bring
That
about,
could be it.
would they bring about 3 or 4 pencils?
Here go the Rams. That
Oh
one
my goodness.
shanked off to the side.
They make us look good.
It's very similar to. Safe to say, Bombers
Timeout,
in.
Bath.
at least, well, most likely a 4th seed going in.
Who's the kid that got hurt?
Couple new players in the game for the
Powell,
Bombers.
Mike
Senior
Powell.
number 75, Foster
Why are they
Pirro.
calling a timeout
I
here?
have no
21's
idea.
in there.
I don't think anybody could
Kevin
conceive a
Cornell.
good reason to call a timeout here. I don't care if you only had 8 players on the field.
Max Milling is in the game now. 11 Joey
Why
Crispo.
a timeout right
Sexton
here?
Caravani's in the game.
Bubby, it's Bath why they're calling timeout.
Number 8 is now the quarterback, Carter Lathrop. Lathrop. Who else is in there? 71 in the game. Seth.
No, guys.
Chiquino.
Chiquino.
Well, we were told by somebody that that was the way to pronounce it.
It's not the way to pronounce it.
In all fairness.
He's not right. Chicken-o. Chicken-o.
Here we go. You seem like it's deja vu. It really is.
It is.
There's a handoff. I think that was Adrian Letta.
Stopped by number 1, Damian Hall from
And the
Bath.
stop was Sean Simmons on the tackle.
Bombers having a tough time getting it back to the line of scrimmage. 5 minutes to play.
I'm having a tough time staying awake.
42-6. Bombers up big.
Who's running the clock?
Oh my goodness.
Who's running that clock, Steven? Well, then make it move faster.
What was the game when both coaches agreed not to have any more
Just let it
clock
run.
stoppage?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I don't remember who we were playing, but it was a mess.
Was that a Waterloo game?
Oh my. What's an ice? ISIS.
So how long do they let him have a timeout?
No.
Probably nice and warm. in there, though.
Goodness, you gotta be kidding me.
It's gotta be nice and warm in that huddle, though.
My thumb is frozen to the zoom button on the camera.
Oh, my nose is running. It froze on my lips.
That's a nice thought.
You should feel it.
Run the play.
High formation.
Just
Wide out
run
to
the
right.
play.
There's a handoff.
All that for
All of that for the timeout.
Joey Chicken-O.
Beautiful. Yeah, nice.
that was a good timeout.
Joey Chicken-O doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up a 4th and 15 now.
Go for it.
We'll take a
Nice.
roll
Look at that roll. Look at that roll.
inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
All I can think about is the heater in my car.
I can't wait to get into that car.
Thing is, though, John, you're going to turn your car. It's going to take your heater 20 minutes to warm up. You can be at the meeting before that.
19-yard line. 3:22.
Probably true, unless you got the electronic start there, the remote
Yeah.
start.
Where's Super Dave tonight?
Where is Super Dave?
He said he had something to do today. Oh, remember his sister came
Always
in town.
got something to do.
He's always got something going
His
on.
sister came in, and he's walking in the breast cancer walk with her Sunday, so he couldn't come tonight.
It's Sunday or tomorrow?
2 days away.
I know.
That walk is Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday morning.
He could have brought his sister.
Yeah.
Even if Kelly wouldn't
He
come,
could have
his
brought
sister
Kelly.
might have come.
Kelly could have walked with her pearls on.
That's right.
Oh, don't pick on Kelly.
Oh, listen.
Make up a
Alex
name.
is the nose guard.
Bubby, just make up a name and say he's in there and see if they clap.
Alex Morales, one of our favorite players, in playing nose guard for the Bombers.
Number 94, John Allen, is in on defense.
Third down for the Rams.
Going to bring up a 3rd and 2 now for the Rams. Clock continues to run, thankfully.
Two-minute warning. Thank God we don't have one of those.
Yeah, we don't have a 2-minute warning in high school
Another
football.
5
and
minutes.
That's something we can be very thankful for.
2 minutes. Under 2 minutes.
2 wideouts to the left, low snap, and whistles.
All over the place.
Hope he's not blowing a whistle because the ball was on the ground. No? Okay.
Offsides against
No,
the Rams.
illegal procedure.
What did he say?
Something about a camera. Must have been Schroth.
And there's the handoff to the
Number
right
1.
side.
Taken down by
Sepulveda with a nice defensive
number
play.
15.
Danny Sepulveda with a tackle for the Bombers.
Has anybody got any timeouts?
All we know is it's coming down to 1 minute.
Fourth
And
down.
it can't be
Fourth and-
too soon.
4th and 10.
So that's going to stop the clock.
Yeah, we're probably going to have one more stoppage here.
Let him run for a first down, then tackle him. The clock will keep
Yeah,
going.
that's true. That's about the only way we can
1 minute.
keep it running.
1 minute.
Baker hit 189 yards.
189 yards for TJ.
I think Clark had 150.
Here, just leave it here.
No, I'm not going to walk up and him for brain cancer.
29 seconds left on the clock. There's the snap, and they're going to take
Taking
a
a knee.
knee.
That's it.
That's
That'll
gonna
be
run
the end of it.
down. Bombers are going to win 42-6. Very convincing win over the Bath Haverling Rams.
So that's it for the regular season.
That's right. We'll do a quick wrap up here.
Bombers 42-6, end up 5-2, coming
5-2.
into the Class C sectional. So we'll
they're
get
gonna go in.
a 4 seed, maybe a 5 seed.
Most likely,
Jesus, freezing to
most
death.
likely is the number 4 seed in the,
Yeah.
in the sectionals, which will
Yeah.
probably give them a home game. I
Yeah,
believe.
well,
Escucha usted la esencia del guaguancó. Escucha usted la esencia del guaguancó. La tumba que ya te llama y el tambor que la reclama y un coro que dice quiere bailar, goza sabroso ritmo guaguancó. Escucha usted la esencia del guaguancó. Escucha lo que estoy entonando, la esencia te está llamando. Escucha usted la esencia del guaguancó. Oh no, 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 la esencia del guaguancó es el sabor. Escucha usted la esencia del guaguancó.
Hi, I'm Mel Battolini.
Another bowl and sat and tasted and tasted and tasted until we come up with what we thought the ingredients were. And so over the years, Jenny put some things in, and then after we lost Jenny, I've added a few things, but it is a recipe that you can play with on your own and make it to your own taste, which is the fun part.
We won't need to change a thing. So go to it. My kitchen is all yours. If you need something, all you have to do is ask.
First thing is in the fall, you find a couple of medium to large butternut squash, and you can find them at any farmer's market, pretty much. They're very common. And the first thing you have to do is peel the butternut squash. And what I use is a potato peeler to peel the squash. And that takes a little bit of time to peel.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have you peel and chop and cut, and then we're just going to go off the air for a little bit while you do that, okay?
That'll be fine. What you do is peel the squash first, then you cut it open, and there's some seeds like a pumpkin almost inside the bottom piece of this. So you clean all that out and then just chop it into chunks of maybe 1 inch square, approximately. Put it in a pot with approximately 1/2 inch of water and cook it until the squash is soft so that you can puree the squash.
So we're going to come back after you've done a little bit of that cleaning and chopping, and you'll show us a little bit more about this recipe, okay?
Sounds good. Now, while the squash is cooking, what you want to do is prepare the pecans, because this is a soup that you make to your own taste.
Okay. So if you want it nuttier, you're going to just add some more.
If you want it more, if you really like pecans like I do, you put in a lot of pecans. If you like it sweet soup like I do, you put in more of the brown sugar and so on. But it's a soup that you make to your own taste. And I brought along some pumpkin pie spices because the butternut squash is almost like pumpkin, but it's not quite. But you can add a little pumpkin pie spice if you want. I add a little nutmeg to mine.
Okay.
In a full recipe, which is 2 squash, I add a stick of butter and about a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Do it in a bowl, and then once it's pureed, then you can add all the other ingredients, and like I say, the cooking is all done, so you can add until it tastes the way you want it to taste. You don't have to, I'm not going to tell you to put in a pinch of this and a teaspoon of that. It's just make it to where you like it, because that's the best way to do it.
Now I noticed that there isn't any salt here, so all of the flavorings is in all of your spices.
Right, and I don't add salt to it. I've never added salt to it, but it is a great soup to start out your Thanksgiving dinner with. It is.
Absolutely. I might just do that. It's not too far away.
What you do is once you have the soup prepared, then you put a little dollop of sour cream and maybe a whole pecan in the middle of it.
See that? That's how we're going to catch it. Because I don't want him to think we're going into my dirty sink.
And comes right out. Make sure you don't cook it too fast because it will stick and burn, and then you have a problem. So once we get it drained, then we'll pour.
You can take the whole thing.
Yep. I don't want to hold it over, but yep.
Just leave it.
Okay.
Just take it over.
Take the whole thing over.
Right, you can
Okay.
work up from here.
Now we're going to get rid of part of this water. We only have a half a recipe here.
Okay.
So let me set this over in that so we don't.
Keep it under. Can't float on top like the other ones do. Look at how nice that's pureed.
Oh yeah. It purees, and it's such got a wonderful color to it, doesn't it?
Well, we can throw away that old masher we used to use.
Much quicker.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically, you have your soup there. Now, all you got to do is flavor it to what you want. And so we're going to use a half a stick of butter. And for those of you with cholesterol problems, you can use margarine.
Margarine.
But
oh, you know, now they keep changing everything.
Oh, I know. It used to be that eggs were bad for you. Now eggs are good for you. You know. And
I can't begin to tell you the things I used to feed my husband in 1982. But it just egg whites.
Oh yeah.
We never want to go back there again.
No, for sure. And now I just pour the nuts in and mix them in.
That looks so good. You know, it does look like pumpkin pie.
Now, doesn't that smell a lot like pumpkin?
Oh my gosh. Well, too bad we don't have smell-o-vision.
Oh, I'm sure the technology is getting there, believe me. It's coming.
I'm too old to live that long.
And the butter is still melting because it's nice and hot. Now, what I'm going to do is add a little bit of New York maple syrup because I like mine sweet. And so I go to the farmer's market and buy the things that I want, and I'm just going to add just a dash of nutmeg, not a lot, and then a little more pumpkin pie spice, and I've got to put in about a cup of brown sugar.
Okay.
And we'll have our soup. Then you can taste it.
Oh, what do you have in there to keep that soft? What do you have in there that keeps your soft?
That keeps the brown sugar from getting hard.
Right.
And I don't know, my wife found that somewhere, so. And here again, I'm just gonna.
What do you like best about your job?
My job? Oh, has to be helping people. I just love being able to help other people. And
Such
with New York State
gratification.
bureaucracy, it is so difficult to get through some of the agencies and get what you need from he's got a 40-hour job every week at Paytech that he works at.
Paycheck, that's
So
what he does.
we're ready to try it. If
So,
you have,
It does not have to go back in here at all, right?
does not have to go back in there. Now, what I do is store it in the refrigerator,
Okay.
and then you can do 2 or 3 things. If you're going to serve 3 or 4 or 5 people, you can put it back on the stove and warm it up. Or if you just have an individual serving, just put it in a bowl and stick it in the microwave for a minute or 20 minute and 20 seconds, and stir it, you know, every 30 seconds or so, and you can. It's ready to eat.
We're going to take another break so that we can have a little assembly line here. Who's going to taste it? Okay, we'll be right back. Well, we're back, and you're going to be dishing out some nice soup here.
Absolutely. If you have a nice soup tureen, it's great to serve the soup in. And
this is just thing. Thank you for appearing on my show. I really appreciate it, and I want to thank all our viewers for tuning in. And we're going to finish consuming all of the soup. Thank you very much.
For a copy of today's recipe, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to What's Cooking in care of Mel Battellini, 610 South Washington Street, East Rochester, New York, 14445.
Mañana yo ya estaré lejos, muy lejos de ti. Bésame, bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez. Bésame, bésame mucho, que tengo miedo perderte, perderte después.
You are listening to the East Rochester Senior Golden Notes Choir Group.
Flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
To recognize a group of people who give up many Tuesday nights, put up with my weekly updates, and do a number of things for the betterment of the school district and community. So I'd like to read a proclamation that was signed by our Governor Cuomo. Whereas each year School Board Recognition Week is observed by more than 700 school boards and school districts throughout the Empire State, and whereas our state's public education system is designed to meet the educational needs of all children and to empower them to become competent, productive contributors to society in an ever-changing world. And whereas members of our local school boards are dedicated to children, learning and community, and devote many hours of service to elementary and secondary public education as they continually strive for improvement, excellence, and progress in education, help ensure the solid foundation of our school system. In doing so, these leaders help strengthen our state's educational system and improve future prospects for our children. And whereas during October 21 through 25, 2019, special activities and programs will be held in communities across New York State in observance of School Board Recognition Week, and it is fitting to join in acknowledging the commitment and contributions of members of our local school boards. Now, therefore, I, Andrew M. Cuomo, Governor of the State of New York, do hereby proclaim October 21 to 25, 2019 as School Board Recognition Week.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
But wait, there's more. We did a little project, or I shouldn't say we, of this.
Reveal.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Was that, huh?
Beautiful. Thank you so
And
much.
in the back of this, somewhere here,
On the back of, yeah?
on the back of this little card is every student who contributed to that piece of artwork.
Yep. So it's on the back of that
on this card right here.
All right?
Oh, very nice.
And there's also a certificate in there too, okay? So again, guys, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for all you do for all of us. By the way, this is framed, this is part of the package too. Not as big, but it's all in there, okay? Very nice, but thank you again.
Thank you. And the bags are complimentary of Monroe County School Board Association.
Isn't that nice? I prefer the artwork.
By the way, we kept it under the threshold, so we're all set.
Save on
In case
cost.
anybody's getting nervous.
That's right, yeah.
Very nice.
But no, thank
Please
you again,
extend-
guys. You guys
thank
do a
you.
hell of a job for us.
Please extend to the students our gratitude.
So thank you for letting us present today on the digital creators. My name is Taj O'Brien. I'm an instructional technology specialist here at East Rochester Central School District. This is Andrew Grammatico, 6th grade science teacher here at the school district, and we're here tonight to talk about digital creators and its kind of evolution.
As Taj and I began to develop our path for the development of this course, we kind of came up with some goals that we wanted to keep in mind. One of our main goals was we technology today. All right. So in the past, students were using technology in their content area classes. We're kind of all at different levels throughout the year. Based on how they were receiving technology instruction. A course called Digital Life, it was the precursor to our course this year. In year one of Digital Life, it was taught as a 10-week class. It was every day. But kind of the roadblock was some students would receive it in the beginning of the year, and some students would receive instruction, the fourth marking period of the year. So as a content area teacher, it was kind of difficult because everybody was on a different page. So being able to use the Google apps such as Google Docs and Google Sheets, proper use of email as it related to their coursework. And digital citizenship was also taught through the Common Sense Media program. We've kind of expanded on that, and it's given us an opportunity to have every student starting more or less from week one on the same page, which kind of gives a little bit of freedom when it comes to the core content area instruction.
Sorry. Nope, you're okay. So as Andy mentioned, when we kind of started putting this together, we looked at quite a few different things. And one of the things I think that's key is we're looking at the computer as something to create with. Really, it is a 21st century paintbrush. It really gives the kids a lot of ways to actually works, and kids kind of uncovering that. We wanted to get them involved in computer programming so that they would understand that they could make the computer do something and not just become consumers of the technology, but they can be creators with the technology. We also looked at it from the perspective of digital fabrication or digital design. So a lot of middle-level jobs have now gone to CAD, CNC, and things of that nature. We now have the tools that are cheap enough and accessible enough for kids to really be able to explore that stuff and understand how things are developed in mass production, everything from the chairs we sit in to the tables that we eat at. It's also going along with some of the work the state's been doing. One thing I forgot to mention in the last slide is that the state's goal has been really, they've created a draft of computer science standards currently. It's currently out for review, and they're looking at putting this down through the legislative process in the coming years. So their goal, overarching Society of Technology and Education, and we really want the kids to, again, be digital citizens, global collaborators, creative communicators. So we're trying to use these as guiding principles as we create the curriculum and look at it. The other set of standards that we've leveraged are the Computer Science Teacher Association standards. These are a little more of the technology-focused standards. There is a strand in the New York State standards that are looking at this, things like data science, things like understanding cybersecurity, computers, and networking. So as we get to the later units in our course with regards to programming and digital fabrication, this is really kind of what we hope to touch on these things as well. Some of the benefits, so one of the benefits that we didn't list on here is that I'm starting to look at is how I can use my current role to actually connect with the 6th grade team. Some of the benefits.
Using technology as a...
Correct. even to the point of even some of the projects perhaps we come up with being able to push into a science teachers that may be looking at the scientific method, or a social studies teacher that's looking at ancient civilizations and how can we connect back with those things. So it's kind of, hopefully it will be a two-way street in that regard.
So it sounds like you guys are aligned with the other teachers on the team there in terms of what their needs were as teachers, what they're asking students to do, and then you're asking students to do the same in your classroom.
Yeah, so I think what we've, with Andy, a lot of Andy's help is when we first started talking about this, he was really about like, we're spending, trying to say to the other teachers like, hey, can we do some of these more collaborative projects? Because I don't want to have to feel like Andy has a huge additional collaboration piece with the other teachers, because that is partly my role in the organization. So does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
We're actually kind of working on a little science, integrating it with science to begin with. Taj has shown me, and we're going to show the kids how to use Google Earth, and kids are going to form a hypothesis about where they can get the best candy if they go trick-or-treating. They're going to use Google Earth and the latitude and longitude locations to literally map and use it for, rather than, like Taj said, being consumers of information,
right,
and actually becoming creators and using it for their own power.
And keeping the citizenship role in with that.
Very much so. One of the big things that we've talked about, I mean, we've done the introduction with Google Classroom and the Docs, the Google Apps for Education, but we've spent a good deal amount of time right now, or recently, talking about their digital footprint and understanding how to identify real sites out there, understanding the difference between secure network.
Now with numbers that aren't necessarily, a legitimate number, and how do those things play out? And there's really, I mean, we've all become bigger and bigger targets. I kind of live on the semi-paranoid side of those things, so I really think that, giving kids the opportunity to do that, as well as understanding that when they're producing things, oftentimes technology is a very small lens in how they are producing information and what they're using for everything from like the Internet of Things, where they're sensing information based on colors and things of that nature. They're not using a large enough swath of our population to really understand who is being affected by these things, and we're probably not there yet in regards to where we could uncover some of that stuff with the kids. But I think being able to kind of go through this together and see where some of a little bit more to look at it from a parental perspective, but knowing that a lot of the current practices from a grading perspective are really through the school tool platform. We have really, outside of letting kids know that's where they should be checking their grades, we haven't done a ton of formal education in regards to reaching out to the parents in that way. So there's opportunities as we're developing this to kind of look at some of those things, and we'll work with administration in regards to that. I think that's really probably, from that perspective, a good space to go. It's a great question. Did you have anything to add? I want to just...
No, we're also trying to pull in as much information from other districts that are in the process of developing their curriculum as well.
We don't really have necessarily a measurement for that at this point in time, other than just kind of understanding that we are seeing some impact from the core subject area teachers. We also have been trying to do some pre and post assessments using the digital literacy assessment.org site, which has some pre-built tools. They are focused on a variety of different subject areas from a computer literacy standpoint. So using those just to get a sense of where the kids are at has been helpful. And then the last thing is really looking at student created projects. We want to see what the kids can actually create. So the next kind of 4 slides are examples of some of these. So just to give you a sense, the first 2 are related to the assessment piece. We told the kids we were not worried about scores. These are all pre-assessment pieces. But this gives. The other thing we did, as Annie mentioned, the digital footprint, we actually had the kids with about 10 questions related to what their digital footprint looked like. They had the opportunity, we've tried to keep the majority of this digital, but knowing that there's kids out there that have different skill sets with regards to drawing and a variety of other things, we want to give them those options. So this is a student that is sharing that they're a big Netflix fan. The TikTok icon, if you're not familiar with it, is the kind of, I don't even know what it is. It's a T maybe. I'm not a big TikTok person, but this student is definitely a YouTube fan, and she's a big fan of Stranger Things. I think she's kind of mapped that through there. So, you know, really giving the kids an opportunity to share who they are. Another TikToker, again, they're big YouTube. The other 2 things we asked them were
piece of paper. There's a lot more that can be done with them to enhance their learning and their work.
Thank you again for
Thanks,
the
guys. Thank you
very much.
Thanks.
Very informative.
After you.
Thank you, sir.
Our second presentation this evening, the Budget Development Planning Budget Calendar 2020-2021. Ms. Stacy Sansusi, School Business Administrator.
Hey, how do I get this back here? Speaking of technology.
They're here.
Is that it? Is that it?
Tad, while you're here.
Yeah. Okay, Tad. Tad, I need you.
Clean getaway.
Wait, the tech director's still sitting here.
I know. See how he's like doing
That's the one who
it?
said your name, it wasn't.
Oh.
He asked her for a raise next week. Everybody got the pieces of paper? Where's our overhead?
I can do it. They have the handouts, but I know it's on there.
Which one's it on? It's on computer, right?
Could be one of those 2. Try HDMI. Is there an HDMI?
Cause that's just power.
Thanks, Andy.
Oh wait, hold on. Did function F7
Usually.
Signal status is all.
It was just working.
I know.
I'm sitting here in
All right.
This had it working too.
Do
Do I have time to get rid of something?
That was weird.
Okay.
You go, hurry up.
Still didn't work.
I forgot I put my power.
Thank you. Well, this is, it's the start of budget season. Can you believe it already? This is the calendar. You have in your packets tonight and a resolution on the agenda to approve the 2021 budget calendar. This isn't new. We do this every year. However, we kind of expanded the calendar a little bit this year to include some different things, so we thought it would be a good idea to kind of go through it. Well, you have it in your packets. It's 6 pages long. There's no way we're going to go through every part. But we thought we'd just give you some of the highlights. So it's been a proactive start to the budget development season. We've talked about it a lot. We've talked about it as an administrative cabinet. In light of the size of our gap from last year, we're being proactive and starting early. This is actually probably one of the earliest we've ever approved the budget calendar in October. So we've started to talk. We have added some sessions to Cabinet to talk specifically about focused budget items. Those are included in your calendar, and I'll put them up here in a minute. And everything we do is going to obviously fall back to the district mission, vision, and core values, as it always does during budget development. And we are going to try this year to align to our district goals, which is social emotional learning and Tier 1 based instruction. and kind of infuse that into the budget development process, as well as the mission, vision, and district values, core values, rather. So what your budget development calendar includes are outlined details and dates and deadlines throughout budget development. And a lot of these are SED regulated dates and timelines to get everybody to the annual budget vote. So a lot of these things are given to us by SED, but we do have the opportunity to take and use the calendar also to our advantage for development. We're going to have focus topics, like I said, an administrative cabinet, kind of for alignment and collaboration, so that we take a look at some of our in-district programs. Are they working for us? Are they meeting the needs of the students? And how are they? Can we really show that? Do we need to go back and tweak something? Do we really need these programs? All of these things will be talked about in our cabinet level meetings. We have topics on this calendar for board workshops and board meetings. So board workshops, we could talk about in detail expenditures one evening. If there's a gap, which we assume there will be a gap, we can talk about in detail ways to close the gap. And then topics for board meetings. I will give presentations on revenue, reserves, the governor's projections, our expenditures and revenues, and finally a balanced budget. So building with us this year, so she has a new lens and a new focus. So we will look at those items. Special education is a big cost item, as we've talked about in the past for the district. We did some things last year. We brought a class in-house. It's working very well. We will keep those discussions going throughout the season. Athletic programs, our technology, our IT initiative, summer programming, and of course facilities and equipment are some of the items. And so just as a summary to that long calendar that you have, October to February is really the development stage and the information sharing and everything that goes with that, for board meetings to budget workshops. And then March and April, we finalize the budget and prepare for the budget vote. And then, of course, May 19th, 2020 is the annual meeting, which is the public budget vote and election of Board of Education members. We need them.
So we can analyze it and make the best decision to put this budget together. There should be no surprises, okay? We're really trying to have a more open communication style so everybody's on the same page and everybody can go out and speak the same language. And thank you, Stace. This was good.
Thank you. I applaud your efforts to get ahead of it. It'll give you more time to make better decisions, so. Good. All right. Do we have comments? No comments from district residents? Vince, do you have a report?
The Monroe County Board Association last month's meeting, the convention is in town this month, so at the end of the week, we'll be going on Saturday to vote for the county. And that's the big convention that they have every year. And for the 100th, it was in Rochester this year. So next month, I should have a report on the convention and go from there. That's all I got.
I attended the information exchange meeting this month. They talked about school mental health partnerships, which we have one as well here. Some of the schools, what they're doing with collaborations with hospitals to get mental health support in the schools. So, it was good to see that we're, cutting edge and doing things.
Ever seen where a child nutrition services audit came back totally clean. Ours did. And congratulations to Debbie and their crew over there in child nutrition. They do a heck of a job. So that's great news. And then, actually it happened 2 years in a row. Mrs. Rucci's third grade class, a year ago, for in the 17-18 school year, 11 students did a writing and submitted it to be reviewed to see whether or not it could be published, and 2 of those kids were published. Wow. And so they're in the Library of Congress.
That's cool.
So building upon success, Christina thought she'd do it again. Every one of the children's essays were approved.
That's great.
Okay? Last night at the foundation, they actually and again, school board, thank you for all that you do.
Next, we have the consent items. Is there a motion to adopt the consent items?
So moved.
And a second? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Personnel report. Is there a motion to adopt the personnel report?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions?
There are a couple items that are highlighted, and those were changes since that you
Yep.
got those, okay? We gave those to you just before the meeting,
No concerns?
okay?
Any concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right.
For the 2019-2020 school year.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Second reading of policy 5660. Vince?
Resolved that the Board of Education approve the second reading of policy number 5660, meal charging and prohibition against meal shaming.
Any second?
A second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, the acceptance of the 2018-2019 independent external audit. Resolved that the Board of Education accept the recommendation of the Audit Committee to accept the annual independent audit for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2019, and be it further resolved that such audit and management letter shall be filed with the Commissioner of Education. NYSED suggests the districts continue to document their procedures due to the recent federal program changes. So all good on that end. And then we also received an update on the internal risk assessment audit performed by Kathy Barrett from Freed Maxick. Draft report's been submitted, and we expect to receive the final report soon. So it was a good meeting. So is there a second for that?
Second.
Any questions?
Actually, kudos to the business office staff, Dave, when he was there, Stacy, Bobby, and everybody who works in there. That's great news. Again,
Yeah.
another clean audit.
Yeah, no, it was good.
It says a lot.
Definitely a good situation. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, approval to piggyback off Brighton CSD transportation contract. Pat?
Be resolved that the Board of Education approves the East Rochester Union Free School District to piggyback off the transportation contract identified for the 2019-2020 school year.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Policy 7441, reading
Be
that?
resolved that the Board of Education approve the first reading of policy number 7441, student voter registration and pre-registration.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Budget development calendar events.
Resolved that the key date for the preparation of the 2020-2021 general fund budget be approved as guidelines for the administration and the Board of Education.
Second.
Discuss negotiations for the ER Teachers Association contract. Is there a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All right.
Don't get lost.
Yeah.
Because we have treats before we go into executive session.
Well, everyone have a good night.
Thank you.
We'll be going into
a dream. You'll never know how nice it seems or just how much it really means. You know I'm glad to be. Yes, sirree, where your welcome's free. And so dear to me, where I can lose my face in street blues. Go get it. Jimmy Duncan on the trombone.
Jesus. God, it looks like the Traveler's Claims Office. All we need is Bo Marlowe. Here's a tune that doesn't need any introduction. An old, not an old show tune. 15 years old.
Well, hello there, Dolly. It's so nice that you're back where you belong. Push through this room, going this you'll go, going your school.
Thank you very much. We're the Beale Street Bandwagon. Again, I'd like to thanks very much to Gail Hammett and the City of Rochester for having us, also the Landmark Society, and also good old XXI. I'd like to just introduce the band members at this time. Our trumpet player, Steve Kindred. Our trombone player, Jimmy Duncan. Our clarinet player, Sean Tracy. Goodbye, Barbara. Thanks for coming. Our tuba player, Don Hunt.
It has just gone 6 o'clock, so I will call this meeting of the Pittsford Town Board to order. We have a number of opportunities for public comment for each agenda item and also a general public comment session at the end of this meeting. If you are a Pittsford resident and would like to say something, please sign in at the desk with Ms. Reddick and you will be called up in the order in which you signed in. I'm going to ask Town Board Member Stephanie Townsend to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States.
No. All right, so the proposed budget for the year 2020, that is a responsibility of the town supervisor to prepare the budget. That's as a matter of state law. And my budget pursues our policies of lower taxes, strong neighborhoods, and continual improvement for Pittsford. I'd like to talk about some of the highlights of the budget. For the second consecutive year, we have cut the town property tax rate, a 1.5% cut in the town property tax rate, and a cut in the overall tax levy. So over the course of the last 2 years, that's been a cumulative total of 8.1% tax rate cut, with a 1% decrease in the overall tax levy for this year. It's compliant with the New York State property tax cap. We maintain the increased funding that we've added for our residential road repaving program. We've made provisions in the budget for improvements to the Pittsford Community Library, significantly increased your access for seniors. We've increased funding for Pittsford Youth Services. We continue our support for the Elderberry Express. And our overall goal has been to pursue continuing environmental initiatives that save taxpayers money while protecting our natural resources. You will see environmental upgrades to Kings Bend Park. We're solarizing the 2 lodges there, and we've added on more recreational programs, including some additional concerts. I'd like to talk about the tax rate and tax levy decrease. Again, you can see the decrease in the tax rate from this year's budget for 2019, 1.5% decrease, and also a decrease in the overall tax levy. So again, over the course of 2 consecutive years, a reduction in the town tax rate of over 8%. And so where does that leave Pittsford in relation to talk about a comparison of these services that provides? So here are the towns that have tax rates lower than Pittsford. And you can see that in each case, Pittsford provides more services to its residents. So Parma, there's no leaf pickup. They pick up brush twice a year. We pick it up on a weekly schedule during the season. Penfield has no leaf pickup and no brush pickup. Mendon, there's no leaf pickup, again, brush pickup twice a year, and they don't have a recreation department or offer those programs to their residents. Perrington is a lower tax rate than Pittsford. They get almost $2 million a year in revenue from a landfill that's been giving them some real problems. They have a school library district, so the school district pays for their library. I want to talk a bit about some of the provisions in the budget providing for strong neighborhoods. Our highway department, we've maintained increased funding for road repair and repaving. We've added additional traffic safety devices, and we are now in the process of converting streetlights to LEDs. This is something that will pay for itself in about 18 months and greatly reduce the town's consumption of electric power for street lighting purposes. Again, under the rubric of continual improvement, this barely scratches the surface, but it's just an overview of the budget. We continue to support the youth and senior services and our Pittsford Community Library. So going into some of the specifics for next year, accent colors in the children's room. We're going to be continuing to replace carpeting. The library is 15 years old now. It still seems to so many of us who are familiar with the old one to be a new library, but it's been there for 15 years and some things need to be changed. Furniture needs to be upgraded. We have money in the budget for that. Increased staff hours and supporting a number of new databases. The Mango Languages, it gives Pittsford residents access to courses on learning over 70 languages, as well as 20 ESL courses. We're doing updates to the Teen Place and access to the movie streaming app Canopy, which I didn't even know about myself. Other things that go into the mix in determining a place's credit rating, but among them, only Pittsford has the highest rating, AAA credit rating. So then briefly, I just want to talk the process from here out tonight. If you looked on the agenda for tonight's meeting, we will have a resolution to set a public hearing on the budget for adoption. That will be set for our next meeting on November 19th. And those of you who are interested in commenting on the budget or really having anything to say about it, should feel free to come to the public hearing on the 19th of November in this room at 6 p.m. You will find the town budget. And we mentioned this very briefly at the end of the last meeting that the governor has signed legislation that waives the state's portion of the fee for marriage certificates for members, active duty members of the armed forces. However, these fees are levied separately by the state and by the town, so it seemed advisable to suggest, as our town clerk has, that the town waive its portion of the fee on marriage certificates and marriage licenses for active duty members of the armed forces. Board members, any discussion?
As it says that are in active duty members.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there, Stephanie, would you like to move that?
I would be happy to move that we waive the state and local fees for marriage licenses and marriage certificates effective immediately.
I'll second.
Beckford?
Yes.
Munsinger?
Yes.
O'Connor?
Yes.
Townsend?
Yes. We come to the matter I mentioned during the budget presentation, which is setting a public hearing for the proposed 2020 town budget. Ms. Reddick, has anyone signed up to just get to comment on this? As I mentioned before, the proposal is to set the public hearing for November 19th, school program salaries to the recreation center salaries generally to cover salary costs, and $17,700 to cover the cost of replacing the AED units and cabinets in town buildings. Also, an amendment to the highway budget that the salt budget for road salt be increased by $100,000 to purchase additional road salt for the upcoming snow and ice season. Mr. Schenkel, do you want to comment on that one?
Yeah, this is usually just done as a precaution. We have about 800 tons or so of salt on hand in our salt barn to finish the year off. Most cases that would be adequate, but certainly we always want to have enough salt on hand. If you recall, if you okay it, as soon as tomorrow morning we'll purchase the salt for delivery.
Has the price of salt remained somewhat constant, or do you see elevations year over year over year?
Salt prices go up a little bit. They do have a multiplier in there for a fuel surcharge for the 2020 season calendar year. There has been a small increase in the per ton price for salt as well, because New York State negotiates that contract each year.
When we say salt, we're really talking about a treated calcium chloride of some sort?
It's basically road salt, calcium chloride.
Okay, thanks. And for those who aren't familiar with acronyms, would you kindly...
And on the rec center salaries, did we add some staff that weren't originally budgeted?
We went to 2 people at the front desk.
Okay.
Can you remember that?
Yeah.
So this is to help cover that.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions or discussion, board members?
I will move the transfers.
I'll second.
Beckford?
Yes.
Munsinger?
Yes.
O'Connor?
Yes.
Townsend?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
And we should probably move the budget amendment as well, so I'll do that.
Oh, I'll second.
Beckford?
Yes.
Munsinger?
Yes.
O'Connor?
Yes.
Townsend?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes. That brings us to a request for this. This is something that I guess, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I gather this particular payment would have made the vouchers last time we did the full set of vouchers, but it came in a little bit late.
Yeah, it was a timing issue.
Okay, but we want to preserve our
We're the
good...
biggest contract. They need to make payroll, so they asked if we could process it early.
And we have a good business relationship with them, and
Yes.
we like to do it, and we would have paid this anyway.
Yes.
Because we pay our bills. So therefore, the voucher payment authorization, board members, any discussion or questions? I used to enjoy that a lot. We did it for years.
We lost interest. Folks lost interest in the class.
Did they really? All right, well.
I'll have to bring it back.
I'll have to sign up again. All right, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Jesse, you want to take us through what's new? I know there was some excitement yesterday.
Yeah, so we have, this is we're finishing up our winter brochure. These programs get us through March 2020. And one new addition is we're continuing our partnership with Autism Council of Rochester. And we're going to offer an inclusive basketball program on Sunday. Exciting program, something that we're looking forward to. It's kind of a pilot. It's getting filled up by programs and resident reservations. So that's one of our considerations, of course, too. Just in general, we have instructors come to us, or we have residents come in and ask for a program. We look for an instructor to offer it.
Good deal. Thank you.
Great. All right. If there's no further comment or question, I'll move approval of the winter 2020 recreation program.
I'll second.
Beckford?
Yes.
Munsinger?
Yes.
O'Connor?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes. We move on then to personnel matters. Ms. Reddick, anyone signed up to talk? No, sir. Okay. So, Matt, do you want to?
Yeah, with respect to number 1, I've had the chance to review the applications for all 6 of those named, and the background checks have been completed successfully. So there are no issues with respect to moving forward and approving these.
Okay. Board, any questions or comments?
No, I will move that we approve the hiring and salary changes.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Beckberg?
And the Seekers Professional Association reminds me, didn't we, Jesse Hollenbeck, the Recreation Center, our renovated Spiegel Community Center, we are, what, one of 5 finalists for an architectural award for that?
The actual ceremony is next week. And the names escape me right now, of course, but we're up for the award on, I think it's the 14th.
That's great. That's great.
Congrats.
Nicely done. Very good. Board members, other business. Stephanie, did you have a chance to meet with Elderberry Express?
Yes.
Can you fill us in?
Yeah, I have some updates and some recommendations for some next steps with the board chair. They are currently, and this was as of 2 weeks ago, turning down 1 to 2 rides a day. And they expect that in the winter months, when some of their volunteers go south, that will increase to 4 to 5 rides a day.
And that's just because they don't have enough volunteers.
It is, yeah, it's a combination of things. The biggest is they don't have enough volunteers to drive, although even with the current, with their current volunteers, they only have the one staff person who works 3 hours a day, and she said that it's even difficult to process all the requests in a day. So I really stressed to them that we are available to help. We realize they're independent, but as a funder of them, and they said they were not asking for any increase in funding for that one part-time position, but what they really need help with is recruiting volunteers. So I talked with them about some ideas of the ways the town might be able to step up. We already currently post oftentimes that they need volunteers, but they appreciated anything that we could do to help increase that. Another thing that I looked into that I'm happy to sort of on behalf of the town do some further work with is getting more support from the 2 local colleges. I did confirm from Lifespan that their insurance that they offer will cover college students.
Okay.
So that was the one question of whether that would be a problem. But especially they can help with the winter gap. We potentially even could approach Causewave and find out if they would be willing to work either with Elderberry Express or, as Lifespan indicated, this is a problem that all of the towns who have this type of service face. So it may be we could...
How many other towns have this type of service, do you know?
I don't know exactly. I know of a few others that do. Penfield and Brighton share it.
Okay.
And I believe Arundequoit has one. So I certainly could do some calling around, find out how many there are, and maybe collectively, certainly I'm happy I work with Causewave on a number of programs, and they may be interested in taking it to a professional level of advertising campaign.
Nothing to be lost by inquiry. I mean, I think
it's very clear we're going to have to, as you had suggested, Bill, sort of think outside the box.
Yeah.
So if we can start sort of thinking, I can do some research around, there's nothing, to my knowledge, in Monroe County or this region, but I can do some looking around and inquiring outside of our region of what other people have done. There is a convention coming up in Saratoga Springs in a few weeks that I normally go to of other municipal officials. I can ask them and just sort of start doing some, and if likewise all of us can tap into our sort of government networks to see how is anybody else addressing this, because we're not the only ones who have this issue.
And one of the things that occurred
which was actually prior to this meeting, is that they will only provide service within that green area on the map of the community mobility zone, which leaves out about half of our town.
And are all of those services going to be provided directly by RTS, or are they going to contract with some third party to do it?
They are on-demand service. It is not clear yet. At least they were not able, at the time I spoke to them, to tell me, but I can follow up with them again to see if that might be something that it's probably the most efficient way is to set up some...
Yeah, like if we could piggyback.
Yet there are subscriptions that, for example, colleges sometimes subscribe at a cheaper rate to Uber or Lyft for their students, and the students get a certain number of rides each semester at a cheaper rate than the full rate. So that's something potentially even to look into, but that involves dealing with Uber and Lyft as corporate entities. So. But I think there's lots of outside the box thinking we can do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the work continues, but I think so far we're on the right track.
So we at least have a start. I'll sort of do a little more research. I'll outline what some of the initial options seem to be.
Good.
And bring them back to you all, and as well as to the Elderberry Express, because again, in terms of for the senior part, I don't want to step on their toes around volunteer recruitment, but they seemed very happy to get help. Yes, in fact, they said...
I want like a huge drop off.
Yes, they said that they almost shut down last winter because of the lack of volunteers.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
There's been a lot of changes, yeah.
Did they say why, as far as that people move, or...?
It's an issue that every volunteer organization is facing, no matter what they do, is we have fewer volunteers available for this type of ongoing commitment. And especially because the hours are weekdays from 9 to 3. You essentially are looking at people who are retired, young retirees driving older retirees. So that's where the college students are a wonderful other population to tap into, potentially.